Not sure what it is. One card on the sideboard and one Sunblast Angel.
I have no idea.
Otherwise, it's exactly the same. As opponent, Noah Koessel, this is pretty interesting. He's playing Rug, just like
Alex Bertoncini was.
Just some of the other players that we've seen. But he's got some interesting additions. He has Inferno Titan. He has 3 Oracle Moldiah and 2 Garrett Wildspeaker. He's got a Miser spreading season in the main deck with some more in the sideboard. I think the big thing about this list is he's got Inferno Titan,
which Michael Jacob likes to.
Yeah, which Michael Jacob's been talking about.
Yeah.
And this might be the resurgent tournament for the red, blue, green deck. Like, it's been not popular for a while, and I think if you metagamed and you chose red, blue, green today, you probably chose the right deck to play. So, welcome to the Starts the Games Open Series. This is Gavin Verhey.
This is Joey Pasco.
By Joey Pasco, and of OMTG Taps fame. And we're bringing you live coverage of the Starts the Games Open Series here in San Jose. We're about to go into a round 8 feature match of Noah Koessel, up-and-coming player. I know him. He's from California. He's been doing great stuff. He's playing red, blue, green, and he's on the left. On the right, we have
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. The name just speaks for itself. Brian Kibler, playing his Kago deck, same deck he's been playing since Worlds. He did a great series on Star City Premium this week.
Yeah, video series.
Video series. You can go watch him play games on Magic Online, and you can see his thought process. And he's been in the booth several times today telling us about his deck, and he just plays it so well. And one of the big tips he said for you guys at home is, well, 2 of them. First, always play sideboarded games. There's a lot of matchups that change drastically after sideboarding. And then the second big tip that Brian had was you just have to tap out more often.
Yeah,
like,
be the aggressor, I think.
Yeah, be the aggressor. Just like sometimes he's like, all right, Gideon, tap out. Like, I have these mana leaks in my hand, but it doesn't even matter. I'm just going to cast this and call it good.
How intimidating is that ring? He's got the Hall of Fame ring right there, which you can't see right now because he's posting a tweet, maybe.
Probably.
I'm actually curious. Let's see.
I roll.
But wow, yeah, Hall of Fame ring right across from you. I think I might just.
6.
I mean, I don't know. Personally, I'm pretty sure I'd be
I didn't know you asked me.
A little intimidated. Yeah, there he is. He just tweeted, "Watch me on SCGLive.com right now."
And if you are watching us, thanks to Brian Kibler's tweet.
Did his opponent just concede? No, I'm just kidding. You saw the handshake there. I see the ring. I might as well concede. I love that he rocks the Ascension sleeves, advertising for his for his game while playing Magic.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't played Ascension, it's a deck building game in the way of Dominion that Brian Kibler and Justin Gary and some of those guys worked on. It's good fun. You guys
it is a lot of fun.
And it's also just not that expensive. Like, usually a board game can be pretty pricey, but I think it's like, what, $30?
Yeah, it's like $30, and then
and you can play it a lot, over and over. It's just a great game.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to sleeve up the cards, they're the same size as Magic cards, roughly. And as you see, Brian Kibler has the Ascension sleeves. That's the logo for his game. You can get those. They also have like a custom cardboard box that fits everything. Like, basically, you can buy sleeves to sleeve up the whole game, and then a cardboard box that has like custom art on it, so you don't need to walk around with like the huge game box. There is like a board for the game, but you don't need it if you know the setup. So, and actually, that's the box that Brian's using too. If you saw it on the table earlier, but it's not on the table now. But
it's a really fun game to play, and they just released details on a promo card. They're working on the expansion, so definitely check it out. So the match is gonna kick off here shortly, and we're gonna see Brian Kibler play his blue-white Kago deck against Noah Koessel's red-blue-green deck.
And I gotta say that the Kago deck is my favorite standard deck, so I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, especially watch someone like Brian playing it.
Right.
If you go and watch those videos, they're so great to watch, and probably will be even better live here on SCG Live.
Yeah.
I know what's going on. Sure. Goblin. No. Oh man.
So
it looked like Kibler mulliganed, and then he went to 6, and then opened with a Celestial Colonnade.
Kibler's another guy who's just fun to play against. The first time we played, it was the last round of Day 1 of Grand Prix Seattle. We were playing for Day 2, and I was playing Fairies, and unfortunately for him, he was playing Rebel Arc, and as a man who spent a lot of time on the other side of the matchup, I know very well that it was a rough Revlark matchup. But he still fought valiantly. I beat him in the end. But afterwards, like, he just lost his match with playing for day 2. And we just hung out and talked. Like, some people would just be mortal enemies with the person they just beat. We just hung out and chatted. Like, he brought a notebook he had found when he was cleaning out his attic or something like that had deck lists he had written when he was, like, you know, in high school with, like, Mirage cards in them. We just, like, chatted. It was a great time. And he's a cool guy to hang around. He's always fun. He's another one of those guys who genuinely loves the game, and I'm very happy to have him in the Hall of Fame. And it's great to have him here, featured on SCG Live. So Kibler found some Squadron Hawk action.
Yeah, there's the Squadron clock.
The namesake of the deck.
Yeah.
And blue, red, green isn't the greatest match for Squadron Hawk, but still, it's totally, you know, it's fine. It presents a clock, and you know, you can jump block if necessary. And more, you know, like we've been saying all day, like Squadron Hawk does so many things. You can put it back with Jace and go find your Squadron Hawks. You can shuffle after you resolve your Jace trigger, even if you have no Hawks left in your library. It just does so much.
Spreading Seas cover.
Oh, and here comes Spreading Seas from Brian, taking out that red and green source.
Yeah,
that's going to be rough.
That's big, yeah.
There's Noah for you trying to figure out what he's going to do. Looks like there's a Garrick in Noah's hand. I can't really see the rest. I thought I saw the glimmer of a Frost Titan, but I'm not totally certain.
The glimmer of a Frost Titan, the icy glare of the Frost Titan.
The icy facade.
Yeah.
That,
isn't that facade? Isn't that the?
Whatever. It's facade now. The icy facade that penetrates Magic players' souls. Is it facade a thing? No?
It's F-A-C-A-D-E, isn't that the word you're saying? I think it's pronounced facade.
Dagger.
I think one of us is right.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right. All right, to everyone at home, I'm an English major, not a linguist major.
I can read them, but not say them.
I can read them, but you know, I do what I can.
Looks like Noah's come up with multiple red and green sources.
Yeah, so we found some red and green sources,
and
he explored to get ahead in mana.
Yeah.
And now he's going to be at the Crucial 6 next turn. You can jam that Frost Titan. And ironically, that if he doesn't have another resource, that Spreading Seas will help him get the Frost Titan.
Oh, wow, yeah, you're right.
Same for Jace. I don't know. You can't quite get a read on what's in Noah's hand. He's keeping it pretty close to the chest, literally and figuratively.
Yeah. I see let's see, is that double Jace in Kibler's hand? Definitely some Squadron Hawks, of course. I think double Jace. He is so quick with shuffling those cards in his hand.
Oh yeah, no, Kibler is...
He's known for that, right?
He shuffles them in a different way than... You know, most people do like the side to side. He does a little like up and down.
Up and down, yeah.
Yeah.
And so fast.
And he does it so masterfully, so fast. And that's actually a thing where it helps you reorganize your cards in your hand faster without your opponent being able to tell you where the one you just drew was. Because the truthful problem is, like, the reason why a lot of people started shuffling in the first place is A, I mean, it's a nervous habit, right? But B, it also conceals what's in your hand. And but a lot of players can, like, kind of track where the card you're drawn goes and figure it out. But some people have figured it out. Mike Turing's a big fan of this too. Like, he has a way where he draws his card and interweaves them, and you can never really tell what he's doing.
It's not to look at him. It goes, he's like side to side.
Yeah.
There he goes back, and he spreads him out. Okay, he's actually looking because he wants to play something here. But there's a stoic rebuttal.
Yep,
stoic rebuttal for Jace.
There, and no mana leak for Noah here. And so that Jace goes down.
So I see his hand has another Misty Rainforest in it, but couldn't see much more. It's got a nice purple theme going on there, purple and black. I can respect that, even though the Ravens lost.
On the strength of Aaron Rodgers' 20-yard pass to Donald Driver for a touchdown, Green Bay takes the lead 21-14.
Green Bay winning
21-14.
21-14, nice.
All right, I mean, that Squadron Hawk keeps swinging in there. It's already dealt damage on its own.
Yeah, the Squadron clock keeps ticking away Noah's life total. I like coming up with nicknames for cards.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people seem to do. Although a lot of people just like hate everybody else's nicknames.
Yeah.
People love their own nicknames. I think Squadron Clock is kind of cute.
Yeah.
Don't overuse it.
Right.
I guess Squadron Clock, or Squadron Hawk rather. Start attack with the Squadron Clock. I think that's kind of cute.
I mean, it's the whole thing. It's like just one by one. You know,
How many other puns can we make on Squadron Hawk?
I don't know.
Squadron Lock? Can we make some kind of like Cal deck?
I don't know.
Discard Squadron Hawks.
We've said, it whittles away at people's life total. So, and being a 1/1, it is a pretty whittle creature. It's a whittle hawk. I'm sorry, that was terrible. I apologize. So we've got Jace on Kibler's side. I actually didn't see whether he brainstormed or what there, but
What's that? Hawk.
So 5 cards?
You have 7 cards.
7 cards.
You may go.
It's interesting we talk about Squadron Hawk because I've been working on some Squadron Hawk decks too. I wanted to see what the card could do in Extended, so I was like, okay, well, what uses are there for Squadron Hawk? And something really interesting I came up with. It just totally blew my mind when I figured it out the other day. Is you can play Squadron Hawk in a polymorph deck, and I know your first reaction is like, "Oh crap, Gavin, you're a moron. Like that doesn't work. You polymorph the creatures in your deck." And then I would ask you, are there?
right.
Because you can cast Squadron Hawk, go find all your other Squadron Hawks, and then suddenly your deck is creature free. Now, the issue, of course, is I don't actually know how good this deck really is. I mean, I played a couple games with it; it was interesting, but I just think it's cool that exists. Like that's really neat. You've never had something like that before.
Absolutely. And I when you tweeted it, I thought, it's a great idea. I mean, the whole thing with polymorph, is you need creatures to be able to play the polymorph. But you don't want creatures. Another one, and actually Big Head Joe brought this up on the podcast last week, was this new Mirrodin Besiege card. Was it Master's Call, I think, is that what it's called?
Where you get 2 mirror tokens?
Where you get 2 artifact mirror tokens.
Yeah.
So, and then there's Shape Anew, which is the artifact polymorph, right? Right. So here's a way for you to put artifact tokens into play and only play something like Mindslaver or something, some big artifact in your deck. So.
The big issue with Shape Anew is it's basically, up until now, it's basically impossible.
Yeah.
It might be a couple ways. I'm not totally sure, but it was very, very difficult to get artifacts and then Shape Anew and do like a big artifact.
Right.
But with an instant that puts mirror tokens into play, that actually works.
Right. The other cool thing is it's an instant speed Metalcraft enabler. What's that? Blinkmoth Nexus, but we're talking standard mostly.
Oh, Dread Statuary.
Yeah, that's right. Dread Statuary is another option. But yeah, I mean, you could build a Shape Anew deck if. Not that it'd be good, but you could build that deck.
I mean, and it's cool just that, like, I'm always happy when a possibility exists. Like, I recognize that it's not a good possibility, it's not a common possibility, but the fact that it exists is just another thing you can tuck away in your head, in your deck builder's mind, and when the perfect time comes, you can unleash it. The other thing I've been doing with Squadron Hawk and Extended, as I was fooling around with this, is with Mistveil Plains.
Yeah, this was interesting. Gavin told me about this morning.
Yeah, so you can, Mistveil Plains, for those who don't know what it does, is comes into play tapped, and it's a land-plane, so your fetch lands can go find it. And it taps for a white, and you can tap it and pay a white to put a card in your graveyard on the bottom of your library. But
only if you
control 2 or more white permanents, right? And so what you can do is with Squadron Hawk, if you can play out your Squadron Hawks, block with 1, play out another Squadron Hawk, put the other one on the bottom, then go find it. So essentially, you've got an endless chain of Squadron Hawks. Now, obviously, this isn't the most broken thing ever. You have an endless chain of 1/1s. But it's interesting, right? It can give you this like long game attrition-y thing you can do, and I mean it's feasible on a polymorph strategy. If you want to, I built a couple decks like this. If you want to see one of them, you should check out my article that goes live on Monday. It's got a deck in it with a pretty awesome name.
Is it as awesome as Call Go?
So it's the deck I'm talking about. It's a polymorph deck with Squadron Hawk, and it's called Polycommerce.
Polycommerce, I see.
Did you get it?
Like polyamorous?
Yes,
Okay.
but with Ka.
But with Ka in the middle.
Yeah, I felt
right.
really clever.
That's good. That's good.
I mean, it's not as good as Ka Go. All right, I concede my point. But I don't know. It might also just be the most ridiculous thing I've ever made up. But I talk about several decks in my article on Monday, and that's one of them. So let's see.
Looks like a Squadron Hawk ate a bolt.
Yeah, back to the game. Oh, here comes another Hawk.
Ben Selsky. We need you at the side event stage for an EDH pod you just signed up for. Come on up.
So Kibler's taking that early lead here. Noah's down to 7 and hasn't been able to do much of anything. And Kibler's just got those Squadron Hawks serving away. He's got that colonnade. Obviously the Frost Titan is an issue. Oh, here's Frost Titan number 2. Things might start to slow down a little bit for Kibler. But Kibler does have Day of Judgment in his hand.
So Kibler chump blocks the Frost Titan with one of his Squadron Hawks.
Yep. He's probably just going to serve and jam a day, right?
Yeah. Sounds like a good plan. Puts him to 6. Says,
and I think
he forgot to untap his lands up top there? Or why does he have 2 tapped colonnades up there? Did he forget to untap them?
I'm actually not certain.
After Atlanta has driven to the Green Bay 23-yard line on the back of 2 defensive pass interference penalties, that line is intercepted, and the ball is returned for a touchdown, putting the Packers up 28-14 at the half.
All right. Sounds like Packers are winning 28-14 off of an interception return for a touchdown. I like to hear that. I have a problem with Matt Ryan. I don't like him. I think I don't like him because all the announcers like him. They can't stop talking about him. Matt Ryan, he's so good and all this. So it gets on my nerves. So, and that I don't have anything against the Falcons otherwise, but when everybody's kind of professing their love for somebody, I start to kind of dislike them.
The rogue deck builder of football.
Kind of. Maybe that's what it is. I mean, I definitely, like I said, I root for underdogs. And so if a team starts to win a lot, like the Patriots, I start to dislike them a lot. So I rooted for the Patriots when they were in the Super Bowl the first time back in 2001 and 2002, like that season. And because they were the underdog. But then when they started being such a good team, I was like, all right, somebody else's turn to win. Oh, and the Patriots won again.
So were you happy with the Seahawks winning then? As the biggest underdog?
Oddly, it was Seahawks against the Saints, and the Saints are my favorite NFC team. So, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, I have like a Saints hat that I bought down because I was in the Magic Cruise last year, left from Fort Lauderdale, right next to where the Super Bowl was happening, the same weekend of the Super Bowl. So all the Super Bowl festivities were happening in right in Fort Lauderdale, and it was Colts versus Saints, and I like the Saints and don't like the Colts, so I
had that tone just in case someone's listening.
No, I don't like the Colts. It's a Baltimore thing. It's also a fact that they're good. You know what I mean? They're a good team. I'm not going to say they're a bad team. It's one of those. The Colts keep winning. I'm tired of seeing them win. That's why I root against them. But I don't dislike them anywhere near. Like, I don't actually dislike the Colts. I just don't like to see them win. I actually have a lot more. I don't dislike Peyton Manning. But anyway.
That's fair. So anyway, those of you guys just joining us, maybe you read Ryan Kibler's tweet and you thought you might have came to the wrong website.
Right.
This football
this is the NFL Network.
So this is Gavin Verhey, joined by Joey Pasco, host of Yo MTG Taps, which you can find on Star City Games. And we're bringing you live coverage of the Star City Games Open Series here in San Jose, California. And we're round 8. Only one more round left in the day after this. And we're watching a game between Brian Kibler and Noah Koessel.
Kibler took game 1.
Kibler took game 1, playing a Kago deck, which is 74 of the 75 cards the same from the videos he put on Star City Premium this week, which you should really check out. They're quite excellent. He's obviously a Hall of Famer. His name invokes murmurs of greatness from, the deepest channels of the earth. And on the left side, we have Noah Koessel, who is a name that a lot of you guys probably don't know. Maybe he's friended you on Facebook, but he's a pretty cool guy, pretty chill. He's talked to me about Magic a little bit, and had some good conversation. He's a good up-and-comer, and he's playing his take on Blue, Red, Green. He's playing the Garrick Wild Speakers, which we've seen in several of the Blue, Red, Green decks today. But he also has Inferno Titan, which is something that I don't think any of the other ones had any Inferno.
I haven't seen them yet.
Maybe Prozac did.
No, Prozac I don't think did either.
No, he didn't. Okay, so
I'm going to say no. I'm not 100% sure.
I don't think he did either. And so he has these Inferno Titans, which are very, very interesting. It's cool to see how they play out. They're obviously not the greatest in this matchup, but still pretty cool that he got this far with them. So looking at their sideboards, Let's see. I feel like Noah will probably bring in his 2 Spell Pierces and his Jace, obviously.
Does he bring in Pyroclasm to deal with Squadron Hawks? Probably not, but it's an interesting question.
It's an interesting train of thought. The problem is that in this matchup, you really want to have cards like Lotus Cobra being active and Oracle being active. So I don't think you can afford to Plasm away.
Plasm away his own.
I mean, the Hawks deal some damage to you, but at the same time,
they won that game. You know, I think Hawks did all the damage in that game.
Celestial Colonnade.
I didn't see that. I didn't see the Colonnade.
The Hawks are important, but if you're gonna get killed by the Squadron Clock, then
or the Squadron Flock, as someone has suggested to us.
Or the Squadron Flock, sure. If you're going to get killed by that, then you're probably just going to lose to whatever they had anyway. You didn't have a fast enough start. So you might bring in some of those, probably take out maybe some Inferno Titans potentially, maybe Lightning Bolt. And then from Kibler's side,
let's try.
Probably we'll get Condemn. Let's see. So your options are another Jace. And then there's also Flash Freeze, which is definitely coming in. And maybe Deprive, Condemn, Oust, Journey to Nowhere. Those are all potential cards that I could see him bringing in. And as for taking out, I don't know if he wants all of his counter magic. Maybe you could cut some of those. But I feel like it's important to be able to get their Titans on 6. So maybe his Spell Pierces will come out. Other than that, I mean, I think he wants his Gideons, he wants his Jaces. Maybe he doesn't want his Elspeth, although Brian has been singing the praises of Elspeth all weekend. Every time we talk to him, he's like, I'm so glad I added this Elspeth to my deck. Basically, his tip for all you players out there was just take whatever deck you're playing and add more Elspeths to it no matter what format you're in. So
it's funny, you know, when he tweeted that, I was like, is he talking about extended or standard? Because, you know, he didn't specify. But now, you know, obviously when he said it in the booth, we know what he was talking about.
Well, I think he was talking about both of them. He's like, well, he should play more Elspeth.
Technically,
you should also play more Elspeth.
It's funny that people want to compare them just because their name's Elspeth. But, I mean, they're really completely different cards. They might as well, she might as well be, you know, Sally the Planeswalker or something, because as far as her abilities are concerned, you know, it's a completely different kind of card. But, yeah, I remember, well, when Scars first came out, people were pretty excited about Elspeth and Venser and Koth, and a lot of that hype has died down, and you can see so in the prices of those cards. But I know I was playing with Elspeth against Elves, which was at the time becoming a popular deck. I think it top 8'd or won one of the Star City, the first Star City Open when Scars was legal. I felt like I was playing Elspeth against an Elves build, and it felt so good. Like he was saying this a little while ago, Kibler, when he was in the booth, about how good it feels to just play the Elspeth sometimes against some decks, and it was just like, yeah, you know, you're playing against Elves and or an aggro deck, and you have suddenly 3 chump blockers, and I would just tick up, tick down. That's what I, you know, put out 3 creatures, 3 tokens, gain some life. Put some tokens out, gain some life, put some tokens out, gain some life. Meanwhile, you know, so I'm building this huge board, and all I got to worry about is like Eldrazi Monument.
And it also interacts nicely with Squadron Hawks too, because if you can create a Squadron Hawk defense, then you can just, you know, be like, all right, Elspeth, pick it up, block, ultimate.
Exactly. Yeah, Elspeth's ultimate is something that Brian has really been advocating as a powerful ability, and of course, it's Nevin Earl's Disc. I mean, pretty much.
Although it does not destroy Grave Titan tokens,
right,
which
and
Brian found out the hard way.
Yeah, that's very relevant that it does not destroy tokens. Looks like one of those Ascension sleeves has Ascension ripped, and so he's Ascension replacing it.
The sleeve has ascended to bigger and better things.
I don't know about that. It's going to the garbage, I'm sure.
It's like the first Ascension ever broken.
Yeah, so when I first saw Elspeth, it's interesting. The deck I wanted to play her in was Turbo Fog, and I tried for a long time to get that to work. So I was like, all right, well, if I can just play Elspeth, pick her up, and then crack her on 5, destroy everything, then, you know, you can just rest control of the game from there. But unfortunately, it didn't quite turn out as potent as I was hoping for. But it's worth keeping in mind. The problem is you know, it destroys all your Temple Bells or an extended Howling Mine or whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting. We're talking about, you know, the hybrid thing, as Flores suggests, and how much of an issue would it be for Brian to play like a copy of Emrakul and a copy of Polymorph, because he's got the Squadron Hawks, right? Well, so he scoops out the Squadron Hawks.
Well, the biggest issue with playing Polymorph is it's not legally standard.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
But theoretically speaking,
I completely forgot that rotated and got replaced by mass polymorph.
It's interesting because when I tweeted earlier this week about Squadron Hawk and polymorph, people were like, "Yeah, let's build the standard deck now."
Right.
Like, no, we can't.
I completely forgot it wasn't in standard.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a staple for the past several core sets, and it was a deck for so long. You think it would be there, but we've got mass polymorphs now, which I guess you could still build the deck around Squadron Hawk. I mean, it'd have to be a little different. But.
Right. So, hey, Rashad, edit that part out where I suggested using polymorph in standard. Okay. You got that covered. Good.
Alex
Bertoncini.
Did you win this round? Alex Bertoncini wins this round, moves to 7-1. You can maybe a draw in, or might play his last round. If he locks up a top 8 for this season, he'll be doing great. I mean, Player of the Year last year, already potentially in top 8 range this year, at least guaranteed some of the Open Series points. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, what they're doing here with the Open Series are just so phenomenal. Those Open Series points are just great. It's literally like a Grand Prix circuit.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's like a, Pro Tour Junior, right? I mean, kind of.
I mean, okay, so maybe there's not as much money awarded as a Pro Tour, but I think it's very comparable to the Grand Prix circuit. Like, a lot of money's awarded. There's a pro level system you can get in it, right? And the really cool thing, too, is I love the Pro Tours and the Grand Prix because you see a lot of different players, right? You see, like, world-round players, people from, all around who play in these Grand Prix, pick up pro points, and so on. But the thing I love about the Star City Games Open Series is we see all these breakout American players that were just like, in the PTQ grind or occasionally made it to the Pro Tour. We see the Alex Bertoncinis of the world. We see, the Adam Prozacks of the world. And yeah, we have people like Brian Kibler doing great too. But it's great to have that combination and see some new players rise up through the ranks, There's a lot of really good players out there who just, can't quite make it on the Pro Tour sometimes. This is a great stepping stone for that.
Absolutely. I mean, players like Nick Spagnuolo, I am loving some of his articles recently on TCG Player. He writes for. He's he's a big fan of playing blue, and so am I. So I really enjoy reading his insights into playing. I think he wrote an article about how to play Jace. And
that's something a lot of people need help with. Too,
yeah, and I mean, even if anybody can use advice on how to play Jace. I mean, it's at least worth reading, even if you end up disagreeing with some of his thoughts. But that's a player who pretty much has come up through the Star City.
And there's
Open
the
Series.
one change from Brian Kibler's deck that makes it only 74 cards. The one Sunblast Angel comes down, wipes Noah's board, and protects his Jace. What a beating!
That's awesome.
When I first saw Sunblast Angel, I was like, "Oh, this card seems awesome." And then nobody was really playing it. But man, it's quite the beating here. I mean, it protects your Jace. Like, you can't really attack into it afterward. It's harder to reload. And as Kibler pointed out, you have the Gideon Jura interaction. You're like, all right, everyone attack Gideon, untap Sunblast Angel, destroy all your creatures. It's similar to the Cryptic Command Sunblast Angel interaction that the Guillaumes had at Worlds in the extended portion. So Sunblast Angel cracks in, doing what it does well.
In about 20 minutes, right at the end of the round.
Sunblast Angel is another one of those cards that seems great with Venser. I dare you to attack. With a Venser and a Sunblast Angel on the board, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Venser's. I think we'll see all the shards, or all the Scars Planeswalkers come around eventually. Like, Koth was obviously the originally hyped one, and then, Venser and Elspeth kind of faded back. Didn't see a lot of play, but I think we'll see some play eventually. We've seen a couple, 1 and 2 of Vensers here in this tournament. We've seen Elspeth Tyrell make a big breakout in Brian Kibler's deck this week, and I expect those cards to just get more and more popular. Just like in Scars, we were talking earlier about how insane Elspeth Knight Errant was, but Elspeth Knight Errant was not universally adopted for quite a while.
No, not at all.
Weren't playing her, and it took a long time for people to realize.
All the way
wow,
up till around
really
Conflux.
Good.
I feel like it was right when Conflux came out. I think it was when people started realizing Elspeth Knight Errant was a good card,
or even a little later.
Hard to open. Had a little trouble opening a water bottle. But yeah, it's funny that I just heard you mistake scars and shards. I keep doing that too. It's like scars of Alara and shards of Mirrodin. Like I keep doing that. Shards of Mirrodin is the one I keep.
Can we make that the block, the next block we go back to Mirrodin? That sounds like a great set. Perfect.
Shards of Mirrodin. After Phyrexia has taken over. That's something we should talk about a little.
Yeah, how about that? Phyrexia Reborn, or sorry, Phyrexia Reborn. No,
right. We're just using all the shards of Alara names in this block. So.
All right, so Mirrodin Pure versus New Phyrexia. What's your stance?
New Phyrexia all the way. This is something again we talked about a little bit on the podcast, but it's it only makes sense to me. Like Phyrexia was such a major villain in the storyline for years in Magic's history, and then it just disappeared after like Invasion. Right, Invasion block was supposedly like the Dominarians defeated
the house
Yawgmoth and
that was specifically
defeated Phyrexia, and we really hadn't heard much
like,
more. Now there was a reference, and I remember reading the Mirrodin book. There was a reference to some sort of oil, glistening oil or whatever. So
that of all people, Corona put there. If you guys
read the novels.
Yeah.
So here we go. 7 years after Mirrodin, they take advantage of that little plant, not plant literally, but they planted that oil there, and just to come back to, which I think is great. And I think it would be a shame if they were to be like, okay, Phyrexia is back, it's on Mirrodin. And
meanwhile back in the real world, Brian Kibler quickly takes the match, and I expect he will be over here.
Momentarily.
So let's wrap up the discussion real fast before we continue.